43.
42. 41.
40.
39.
Number 1.
39.
38.
37.
36.
35.
34.
33.
32.
31.
30. 29.
28.
27.
26.
25.
24.
23.
21.
20. 19.
18.
17. 16.
15. 14.
13.
12.
11.
10.
9. 8. 7. 6.
5.
4.
3.5.
3.
2.
1.
Hey, Rocky, you want to see me pull a show out of my hat? Nothing up my sleeve. Presto.
And welcome to the Mouthwash Talk Show, a minty, fresh take on life. And yes, we do politics sometime. And tonight we're going to do a little politics. Yeah, you probably wonder, wait, where's the show intro and all that? Well, I'm in the studio in Florida, and it's been a lot of fun trying to get everything together. You see, I got no green screen, no intro, but we will be back next Tuesday at the Chateau de Mars Hill Mothership in Mars Hill, and we will have that for you. But we have a tremendous show for you tonight. We have Jeremiah TV Ball coming on tonight, and you may be saying, well, who the heck is Jeremiah TV Ball, also known as Haas? Well, you're going to find out tonight. We've had him on our show. Oh, it's been a couple years. He was involved with the Marion County Fairgrounds, was hired on as a worker there and worked his way up to the superintendent, or whatever you want to call it, the project manager there, the director, and got into a little bit of stuff going on out there. Was seeing some things that just didn't add up. Things didn't work out, and one thing led to another. He'd worked at the election board. He's seen a lot of stuff. He's seen a lot of stuff behind the curtain, and we're buddies. We both have been sued by Abdul for defamation, and he has won his case. And David Waters has won his case, and mine is coming up on the 27th, and it's pretty much a foregone conclusion that I'm going to win my case. So it's just a matter of getting that over with. But I want to have him on tonight because there's some issues with these campaign finance reporting down at the election board, and we're going to uncover some of that tonight, and we're going to talk about it. And I have Steve Whitmer, Witty Reviews, coming fresh off his show. And I do see Lucy checking in back there. She's going to be here. And Witty's going to be in for Tiffany. We don't want her to get all mixed up in any of this stuff that we have going on. Some of this stuff we're trying to figure out here while she's so close to her election. So we're going to keep her safe from that. But I want to bring Witty on because, man, he's the king of uncovering stuff. If you watched his show earlier tonight, he talked about all sorts of money going to places where we just wonder where it went. And it was eye-opening to me to see this. And, you turn on your social media right now and you see something about fraud. You'll see something about somebody's, money not being spent right or this and that. So we're going to talk about, the Marion County Fairgrounds and where some funding was misappropriated and what's going on with that. And, it was like 2-3 years ago, found liable for to owe this money. And yet nothing's been paid. I reached out to the person for the comment, and obviously they didn't comment. They're welcome to come on the show and say their side of the story. We would love to hear that. So it's going to be a good show. Yeah, Kelly. Yeah, who hadn't been sued by Abdul? It's all that. So yeah, it's just a lot of stuff going on. It's all that. So. Let's see. I don't want to do this. I think I'm going to bring on Jeremiah first. And we're going to talk to him. Jeremiah, what's happening?
How are you?
Okay. It looks like you're in a nondescript location.
I've just got the whiteboard up.
Yeah, the whiteboard. Yeah. Well, I was telling Lisa today I want to put like a green board chalkboard. Remember the old school green chalkboard behind me and write stuff on it for my green screen down here. So if let's tell our viewers a little bit about yourself and why you're here tonight.
You gave a brief introduction. I was the executive director at the Marion County Fairgrounds, and I also worked for voter registration for the Republicans downtown Indianapolis for Marion County. So after some odd text messages and infatuation, I had to file a complaint, and shortly after that, I was terminated.
So apparently complaining will get you fired. Is that how it works?
Sure. Yep. You lose the battle, but I'm anticipating winning the war.
Yeah. So and your boss was Cindy Mowry. Is that correct? Basically, she's the president of the fair board.
Yes,
per
sir.
se, your boss, but she's not the person that fired you, right?
No, Abdul Shabazz.
Oh, okay. I'm starting to see a common denominator here of whatever Abdul touches seems to turn into a problem, So, but allegedly, right? We can't be saying anything because we could be sued for that. Because, if you're a bully attorney, you can sue anybody for anything. But
Sure.
sometimes it doesn't work out. Now, let's cover that real quick. How's that working out for Abdul? Because Abdul sued you for defamation, and you filed an anti-slap suit, basically what I've done because of your guidance and your experience. So I'm third in line of this. And anti-slap is basically a frivolous lawsuit. If I could just sum it up to that.
Anti-slap is an extension of free speech. So you can. Everybody's entitled to free speech unless it's blatantly a lie or harmful or whatever. If you're just trying to slander someone, they can sue you for that. If it's a public figure, then the free speech is significantly broader. You have to believe it's true, and you have to have a reasonable, I forget the two qualifications, believe it's true and something else. I don't remember.
Yeah. And so what happens, so you did this after Abdul put this defamation on you, you did the anti-slap, you won.
Yeah, is that correct? That's actually the anti-slap is a motion to dismiss.
Okay.
So the anti-slap is an Indiana statute that protects free speech against anything that the public has a interest in knowing about. And
so that stops that. And then basically in Indiana, the loser has to pay the attorney fees. And in your case, there's a couple dollars behind that, isn't there?
It is significant because he continues to file ridiculous notices to the court. He files exhibits that aren't authenticated. Relevant. Yeah.
So how many? David Waters had 85 exhibits in his case. Do you count on yours, or is it? It's got to be more than that, I would think.
It takes like 5 minutes to scroll through the whole case on my case,
and then he loses.
Yeah.
So and then fast forward, he puts on the internet, on his page or on somewhere, you holding up a sign that I am a convicted check forger or something like that, which is totally false, right?
Yeah, completely false.
So you have him in a defamation case, and it looks bad for him. Is that so? I just want
Correct.
to get through this real quick. So okay, so that brings you up to date on that part of it. Now let's get back to the fairgrounds. So there was some misappropriation of funds. Let me go to the banners here to do this. So
you gonna bring the other folks in?
Yeah. I'll bring them in a second. I want to put this one up here real quick. So just to bring everybody up to speed, because they're listening back there, they can see all this. So this investigation, into the fair board, misused $4,500 of public funds, basically, and then here's the state board of accounts audited her and found her, that she needed to pay this stuff for her property. Now, is that what got you fired, or was it just you just asked the wrong questions?
No. When I was being sexually harassed, and I filed a complaint at the fairgrounds, I filed a complaint with the then vice president Abdul and the attorney that was on the board, John Sturgill. So I filed a complaint with those guys. I also brought them up to speed on all the money that was questionable spending and misallocated, and et cetera. Abdul told me to put it all into writing, and I would present it to the board, And then whenever the board meeting rolled around, he wouldn't let me present to the board, and then canceled every board meeting after that until I was fired.
And then basically he resigned, and then Cindy's back in charge. To this, is
Yeah.
she
So
still, right?
Yeah. So when I filed the sexual harassment complaint, she resigned, and then Abdul became the interim president. And then during that time, City Councilor Paul Launay was working for the fairgrounds, and Abdul wanted me to pay him for hours that he hadn't worked, plus give him a bonus that none of the board members had approved or knew about. And when I refused, he fired me for insubordination.
Yeah, that makes sense. Now, never ask any questions, especially in this outfit. Well, so let's get to the voter registration, and I'm going to get to this because there's a lot of layers to this onion here. Voter registration. Who is the Republican in charge of voter registration?
The same person, Cindy Mowry.
Cindy
Mowry.
Also,
I worked part-time in that office.
Yeah, and you were not thrilled with what you saw there as far is that how that goes. But and I had experience with them when I was getting signatures of 14% of the voting, and by my calculations, are registered to vote in an address they don't live in. And it seems like that the registrations have not been updated. Just very, very poor job of keeping our rolls correct.
In 2022, they redistrict all the precincts for Marion County. So we had to go into each individual person's, make sure they were in their address was in the right precinct. So when they go to vote, they're voting for the right positions. What we found was there are people that registered that live at a Taco Bell, CVS, strip malls. It's ridiculous, and it's next to impossible to void those registrations. You have to send a letter, and then if it comes back, you have to send another letter with a self-addressed stamped envelope in it to come back to voter registration. And that whole process is very lengthy.
Wow.
Now the beauty of the system with Unigov in Marion County is that the election board and voter registration are directly across the hall from each other at City County. So voter registration is responsible for keeping track of all the registered voters. You can find how a person's voted since they've been eligible to vote, every election that they voted in. The election board runs central count on Washington Street. So if, and this is hypothetical or allegedly, if the parties know who they want the primary winner to be, and that person's not winning, they have access to a list of voters who typically don't show up to vote. So they generate a ballot, and I mean, when you're talking about only 20% of people vote in the primary, it might only be 50 or 60 ballots that need to be generated to make the candidate that they've chosen be the primary winner.
Yeah, so there's some room for variables that can sway an election one way or another, is what we're allegedly talking about. So, well, that's a very good segue to this, because I'm going to play. Who's the clerk right now?
Kate Sweeney Bell.
Kate Sweeney Bell. Okay, well, this is very convenient. So I would do a little digging. I was looking for a video of some of the stuff that's gone on at the fairgrounds. There's none. I could find a couple articles. There's really not been a lot of coverage on this, and this is basically 2-3 years old. But I did run across this little gem about the Marion County Election Board going after the Secretary of State. So let's see if I can't get this going here.
Diego Morales is pushing back against allegations that he mixed official business with campaign business.
The Marion County Election Board first raised allegations last year after watching a video of Morales' campaign website. Our 13 News State House reporter Emily Longnecker explains the board's latest actions and what they want the state's top investigator to do now.
This is the video still on the Morales campaign website. that the Marion County Election Board says shouldn't be there. The board says it shows Morales on official business visiting the county's Election Services Center on Election Day 2025.
He took this video for what we thought were official purposes.
But Marion County Clerk of Courts Kate Sweeney Bell, who's on the bipartisan election board, says months later, the video showed up on Morales' campaign website.
Regardless of title, that is, nobody gets to do that. You don't get to spend government dollars to advance your political career.
Sweeney Bell says the board sent a letter to Morales asking him to take down the video, but got no response.
People make mistakes. And if it was a mistake, he wasn't copping to it.
So the board's attorneys launched an investigation. According to Sweeney Bell, their investigation showed Morales violated the state's election laws.
We decided to give him one more chance to address this or to take it down.
That was last month. Sweeney Bell says when they got no response again, the election board moved forward with today's votes, both unanimous. One, to turn over their investigation's findings to the State Inspector General and Ethics Commission to look into the matter further. The other vote to only give Morales access to public spaces at Marion County's Election Services Center on primary election day.
To take the step to keep someone who is an elected official, the chief elections officer for the state of Indiana, away from our poll workers and our ballots, we take this very seriously.
The Morales campaign says it did respond to the election board via email yesterday with this letter they provided to 13 News. The letter accuses the allegations of being politically motivated and says the board had no jurisdiction over the election laws it claims were violated. The letter also says the video of Morales from Election Day was first posted to the Secretary of State's official website and social media pages and was part of the public domain months before any campaign video was created. The letter also points out the video showed the Secretary of State visiting multiple counties. The letter goes on to say, quote, "There is no evidence, and your investigation identifies none, that state personnel, equipment, or funds were used to produce the campaign advertisement itself. Without such evidence, the central element of an alleged misuse of state resources simply does not exist." But Sweeney Bell says neither her office nor the election board ever received that email. Sweeney Bell says it's now up to the Inspector General and Ethics Commission to decide what they think.
In Marion County, if you do something wrong, we're going to call you out and call you on it and do everything in our power to show the voters here that even if you are the chief elections official for the state, you're not above the law.
In Indianapolis, Emily Longnecker, 13 News.
13 News reached out to the Inspector General's office to ask about an investigation. They sent us a statement saying they could not confirm if they were looking into the allegations because any investigation is confidential.
At what point in the video was I allowed to call bullshit or bullcrap?
John?
Did Kate Sweeney Bell just say that if you do something wrong in Marion County, we're going to investigate it? Because I can tell you 5 different complaints that have been filed with the election board, and they didn't investigate a single one of them with clear documentation attached to the complaint. Didn't investigate a single one of them.
It's the only one that's convenient.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
But did Diego do what they said he did?
I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know what the laws are. I
There
know
was
that
like some like weirdly weird, like 3 or 4 second clip of him like shaking hands with somebody.
at Central Count.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, he did do it, but it was like I don't know where this is gonna go. I understand the rules are the rules, and Diego, being as like the chief election officer, should have knew better, but he's always clout chasing anyway.
To say that it's not politically motivated is such horse crap. Councillor Onay and Councillor Brian Mowry both had a campaign fundraiser in 2021. Paul Onay took all of the money from there and deposited it into his personal checking account, which is a violation of the law. We filed a complaint with the election board. They never investigated it. They sent me a response and said, Councillor Onay said he didn't do it. We consider this matter closed. Then the Franklin Township GOP, if you read their campaign finance reports, apparently the money was given to the Franklin Township GOP, and the Franklin Township GOP Club wrote each of them checks for almost $8,000. Yet there's no finance reports from the Franklin Township GOP Club. The treasurer of the GOP Club denies that it ever happened. The president of the GOP Club, Aaron Freeman, denies that it ever happened, said that it was a recording error or something. I got a email from the treasurer, Bob Elrod, that said that he had forgotten about some checks he was told to write, but they didn't exceed the threshold of reporting the reporting guidelines. They didn't exceed their reporting guidelines. So $20,000 going to two counselors. One isn't even in your district, yet your GOP club is writing him a check for $8,000. Another complaint to the election board. They didn't do anything about it. They said the Franklin Township GOP Club is regulated by the Indiana Election Committee, which was Brad King at the time. Brad King said, no, it's the Marion County Election Board's responsibility. So
I would have thought that it would have been the Marion County Board's responsibility.
So just nobody wanted it to take it
nobody
on.
wanted.
Yeah.
We're all doing the Spider-Man meme.
Yeah. Then Mike Dilk and Paul Lane, both counselors for the City County Council, both on the board of directors at the fairgrounds, filed their reelection campaigns in 2023 and denied any affiliation with the nonprofit itself. In their questionnaire, denied any nonprofit. Yet you go to the website and it clearly says that they're members of the board. But Paul Lane, while being a member of the board, our director at the fairgrounds, submitted an ordinance to the City County Council to increase public funding to the Marion County Fairgrounds in May of 2022. Dilk, Ane, and Mowry all have clear conflicts of interest. Ane's the one who wrote the proposal and then voted to approve it, and then denied that they were members of the board. Then in July of 2022 is when Shabazz tells me to give Paul Ane a $1,500 bonus that nobody knows about. There was never a discussion with the board. The secretary who records the minutes of the board meetings sends an email to everyone saying, I don't know anything about a bonus. Yet I'm fired for not paying the bonus.
Yeah, sorry about that, folks. My whole camera, everything went off, which it didn't seem to bother y'all. You just kept on going. I almost stayed back and just be the producer on the show here. But I think that, folks get an idea of what happens, and when there's no light put on it, it just happens. So I know I missed some of this.
If you take let's just take all of that out of the equation. The Marion County Fairgrounds is a 501c3 nonprofit. So they're still responsible for filing taxable income on their taxes at the end of the year. So when they rent the racetrack out on the back, that's taxable income. When they rent the buildings out to people for birthday parties or weddings or whatever, that's taxable income. If you have something that's non-taxable, the fair or a fundraiser or something like that, you report it. But one, they receive $150,000 from the city, from the general fund of taxpayer money. They didn't record that on their taxes. They recorded a portion of it, but not the full amount. They don't record any of their taxable income, and their taxable income is about $150,000 as well. And then Mike Dilk is the treasurer who prepares these documents, and it's my understanding, and maybe I'm wrong, he was an accountant for several years before he was a politician. So you have an accountant responsible for the tax filings that signs off on them when they're filed with the state, but omits the money that they're getting from the government, omits the taxable income, and all of these things are filed with the IRS, public record.
So, and let's get back to that part of, on the, I was cut off here. It's Kate Sweeney Bell, the election board. They have time to go after somebody like Diego about a campaign commercial, but yet they don't go after these people like Vop Osley, who's got 12 years of amended campaign finance stuff, and Slick Witty's looked into this stuff, and I want him to go into some of this. Cindy Mowry being treasurer on two people's accounts and basically writing down a random number with no itemized, with no anything. And I know people that went to these events that wrote a check at $100 or over.
I have a list. I've got the list.
Yes. And yet we're not going to investigate that. And if you look at that little election board there, Jennifer Ping, who's the Republican pick, this is a cooked, it's cooked. That's all there is to it. And I want to hear Steve Whitmer. I want you to chime in on this and
let me just
tell us a little bit.
Give you.
Go ahead, Haas, and then Steve follow that up.
The entire lawsuit between David Waters and Shabazz, where Shabazz sued Waters for defamation, is there's $40,000 missing from his campaign fund. And then he files a revision after David Waters sends a complaint to the election board. Abdul files a revision, and there's still $40,000+ missing from his campaign finance reports.
And yet the election board, the judge said, "Hey, you didn't show me where that is." So,
he testified, in his deposition. He says that it's the treasurer of his campaign's responsibility, and he never looked at the bank account.
Well, not only that, but then in the deposition, they asked about in-kind donations, and they were like, "Well, I don't know how to do them." But then wasn't in a deposition where his treasurer was working for free. Or I think it was something like that.
Pay for.
And then, they didn't know much about in-kind donations at all. Yeah, the whole thing has been interesting.
So for her statement that if you're in Marion County and you break the rules, we're going to investigate and go after you, is complete horse crap. To say that it's not political against Abdul or against Diego, when you have at least 7 complaints with documentation, they're not just opinions of somebody or sore loser or whatever. You've got documented complaints, and the documentation's provided along with it, and they just choose not to investigate it.
I'm going to put this up here again, and then I want Brad and Lucy to chime in on this. So, apparently, she has, and I, all fairness, I did send her a text message today and said I asked for comment on this, and she probably thinks. I think the last time her last text message back to me was, hold on, let me see. It said something about, you're a piece of garbage, and that's why nobody likes you. So I didn't think I was going to get it, but I like to reach out. I like to reach out to people and let them tell their side of the story. She's more than welcome to come on here and tell her story. Abdul, you're more than welcome to come on here and tell your side of the story. But I don't. Their side of the story is not good. And this right here, the Indiana State Board of Accounts audit found her guilty of doing this, painting at her house.
18-month audit.
Yeah, and then so she was not only.
That was just one part of the complaint to the State Board of Accounts. They had 4 or 5 other things that they were trying to investigate. The State Board of Accounts doesn't have subpoena power. They can request information, they can do research, they can investigate. They don't have subpoena power. So anything that they get is by cooperation of the person that's being investigated. And then they can submit their findings to the appropriate prosecutor or the attorney general in this case. But they have there was a list of 5 or 6 other things that they were trying to investigate in association with the fairgrounds, and they couldn't get a response.
Yeah, and I was when I was getting signatures at the fairgrounds in 2018 to get on the ballot. By the way, I got 2,300 signatures in that week. Russ McQuaid caught wind of it because they were trying to they weren't going to give me a booth to get my signatures, and they also told me I couldn't go throughout the fairgrounds. I mean, they just were, and they'd send somebody over to spy on me every 10 minutes. So they were less than friendly, let's put it that way. And so Russ McQuaid got involved the last day. And when he came over, and I did reach out to him, but I did not get a text back from him, but he doesn't hate me and doesn't wonder why people don't like me like Cindy does. But he was telling me then that I've been reporting on these criminals out here for years and nobody cares. And one of this is a rumor. This is alleged that the parking is a cash thing. You come in, you pay the $5 to park.
It's cash at the gates.
Yeah, that number never sees the bottom line. That's what I heard. That's allegedly that money is just used for beer. I don't know what they use it for. I don't know. But
so
I just
Shabazz
heard all these.
Shabazz continues to play stump the chump with me on Twitter and social media, and I offered. I was like, hey, look, I'll openly live stream a debate with you, and Rob Kendall, Jerry Lopez, Steve Whitmer, they can be the panel, and I'll bring the documentation. You bring your Chat GPT, and we'll see whatever. Like calling me a liar and creating fake accounts just to harass me. I offer. Hey, we'll do a live stream. I'll provide all the documentation, and I'll prove exactly what you did.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's what infuriates me, and that's what made Steve Whitmer break a pin on Witty Reviews tonight. It's just the frustration level of this. It's just, and we look on social media, fraud in Minnesota, fraud in California. We see these campaign finance reports that are nothing but a Disney movie, not even it's more like a Stephen King movie that don't add up. And yet the election board's worried about Diego doing a commercial. Oh my gosh. How will we ever live through this?
Mowry testified that they waive the fees and expenses for one of the vendors at the fairgrounds to the tune of about $800,000. I don't know exactly. But she made it clear that that's the only vendor that they do this for. Yet that vendor is a major campaign donor to Shabazz when he ran for mayor. All this is public record. Was a major campaign donor to Brian Mowry, to Paul Ney, who knows who else? I mean, because maybe they just didn't report it on their campaign finance reports. Shabazz got $10,000 as a board member from somebody that they waived fees for at the fairgrounds, and then went to the city county and said, we need more money so that we can waive more fees. So
we can get a bonus.
Yeah, we can waive more fees and get more campaign finance reports, allegedly.
So let me put this up here. Aiden, you're good. Aiden's in here. He's like baiting Abdul to sue him and stuff. It's like that. But, let's talk about Rob Kendall. He's the first one to come out and say somebody's hiding or whatever. But, Abdul's Rob's buddy. And, I've yet to see him say anything about that. Rob's supposed to be one of these guys that I don't show favoritism. I go after everybody. Well,
oh yeah, he thinks himself as a modern day Rafael Sanchez, like a investigator finding all the dirty stuff, and he's the first one to throw somebody under the bus. And I've documentation after documentation after documentation of the money missing, and then asking for more money from the taxpayers so that you can do more dirty stuff. And I confronted him one time, and he was like, well, you know what? I don't believe Abdul did it. Okay, well, now we're in court, and we've got 4 different depositions where you've told the answer to the same question 3 different times.
3 different
ways. 3 different ways, yeah. The same questions, yeah.
So,
Rob will not respond. He will not answer me. He calls everybody else and like, hey, what's going on with this guy? Get him off my back. Well, that's horse crap. Like, Rob, you know what? You're going to throw all these people under the bus and make a big deal when you're sitting there next to the guy doing your inside Indiana politics thing, and that dude's just as shady as everybody else.
He's super shady. And some of the stuff that he tries to do, and, in one of the court cases, he was actually recording the court case, and that's no, you're not supposed to do that. And this guy's supposed to be an attorney. And you know what I say? If somebody calls you incompetent, don't go prove it. And he's been doing a good job proving it.
At David Waters' hearing, I sat directly behind Abdul, off to the side a little bit, and was watching him actively use ChatGPT while David Waters' attorney was giving his introduction or brief or whatever. I don't know the jargon. And then when the judge was asking Shabazz questions, he was waiting for ChatGPT to give him the answer. 1 second, Your Honor, is what he said. As he's waiting, you can see ChatGPT formulating an answer for him.
So I would tell our viewers this about Jeremiah. When I first got involved with this, I heard all this stuff. The Maori campaign, the Franklin Township Mafia GOP was sending out all this crap about how bad of a person Jeremiah was. Just basically, they're discouraged and destroy. They skipped the discourage. They went right to destroy. And you know what? I was like, hey, man, this Jeremiah guy, he's not a very good dude. But I've known him for like 3 years now. And you know what? Jeremiah has always proved to be truthful, honest, and sincere about everything he's talked to me about. Yet that other side has been nothing but deceptive, deceiving, stab me in the back, everything else. So let's see. I'm going to ask Brad this question because, this is a pretty easy question, Brad. Who would you trust out of those two scenarios?
I put trust in Jesus.
Perfect answer. That is a perfect answer because Jesus is my advocate, and you know what? His yoke is easy, and he will move these people out of the way. And you are seeing it in real time right now about people that are, that proverb: dig a pit for somebody else, you'll fall in it. Roll a stone up the hill, and it'll roll back on you. Sort of like the old Roadrunner coyote. We're the Roadrunner, and Abdul's the coyote, and Cindy Maury's the coyote. So you're seeing this in real time. These people get caught red-handed. Now, this is where I break my pin, Whitty. What's going to happen to them? You see all this fraud going across the USA. You don't see any perp walks. You don't see anybody going to jail. You don't see anybody. You get caught by the Board of Accounts, and you just don't pay. Oh, I'm not paying that $14K. So I don't know. I don't know what else to do. Break a pin. I don't know how we get this done. And
how is the Attorney General not included in all of this? Like,
he's
why
suing, he's filed a lawsuit.
He's the one that's trying to collect the money.
It's just not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's wheels of justice.
He's got his little boxing gloves, though. I've seen him on his little stage, little Todd with his.
Well, let's put it this way: he's no Mike Tyson, that's for sure. but anyway, so Lucy, what are you hearing here? I want to get you in here. You generally patiently wait, and this is another one of those learning shows of everything that's going on. But what are you hearing?
Well, I have this dog in the background that is just annoying the crap out of me. So if I seem distracted, that's why. He just will not leave me alone.
At least your feet didn't
I'm
go
just
out.
listening with interest because I've now received my first cease and desist letter, and claims of defamation and stuff. And I have a real hard time not being sarcastic. Like I literally just wanted to send their letter back, highlight it, and put FAFO. Let's go. Because people get all froggy about filing lawsuits and they forget about discovery. Like they're like, and I'm like,
without a doubt.
It's like, please sue me, please, because then I can have a judge compel. So anyway, I've been watching, all of your stuff, Haas, with great interest, especially now that I've got somebody doing that on my end.
Here's the irony is that Indiana has anti-SLAPP, but Illinois does not. So on 2 occasions, one, I was threatened that he was going to go Southside Chicago on me, and with an Incredible Hulk avatar. I don't know what I've done, but he's about to go Southside Chicago on me. Secondly, he sent me. I'm represented by counsel. He's an attorney that's not allowed to contact me unless he goes through my attorney. He sent me a threat to sue me in Illinois. It was a drafted lawsuit filed in Illinois, the town where he's from, or licensed as an attorney through. It was a mirror of the lawsuit that he's suing me for here, and it was like, nah, boo-boo, Illinois doesn't have anti-SLAPP. Let's see how you do there. My response was, get on it, strike a match, let's go. Illinois doesn't have authority over me to make me come over there and go to court. They don't have jurisdiction over me. and I'm sure a judge would be interested to know that this is a mirrored lawsuit that you've already got your ass kicked in.
Well, that's funny, Jeremiah, you bring that up. Abdul has contacted me without talking to my attorney. I don't know what, like I said, if they call you incompetent, don't prove it. And I just don't know.
Why did he bring up South Chicago? Or why did he bring up South? That just makes me mad.
He's a fake Chicagoan.
Like, I hate that, right, Woody? Like, well, I mean, and I don't
you
even
region
know anything about him.
Quiet.
No, but it's like claiming oh, I'm from Jersey or I'm from friggin' wherever. Like, don't
represent.
Yeah,
you didn't say that right, Matt. I'm from Jersey.
Like, wait, does anybody know? Is Abdul a Cubs fan or a White Sox fan?
I think Abdul's a fan of Abdul. He doesn't. He doesn't have any other people but
sounds
himself.
Like a Cubs fan. Okay.
Yeah, like a Cubs fan. No, I think he liked the Cleveland Indians in Major League. So
who did?
Sorry, I'm never sure where Springfield is, but he's from Springfield, Illinois. So, but yeah, the post on his socials was the Incredible Hawk, and I don't know what I've gotten myself into. He was going to have to go Southside Chicago on me.
Yeah, like good luck. I think we can. Hey, Whitty, we can sell some tickets to a cage match between Abdul and Jeremiah, the Gentle Giant. Hoss.
I'll sell tickets for Abdul versus Gabe.
I'm not hard to find in a crowd, so
that's right. The Gentle Giant. That's what I call you. You just until this, and I just have to say that he is goes to all of these functions. Sits right down in front of them and just makes them nervous. I mean, it just makes them nervous because he is a reminder of what they've done. And honestly, Jeremiah, I'm going to tell this part of the story that it's not so flattering for you, but I think it's no secret you've had a troubled past. And I really believe that those folks at the fairgrounds hired you as a scapegoat to say, oh, look, when we get caught, we can blame this guy because look at his past. And to me, that just adds another layer of irritation that I have in this. And to me, I hate injustice. And this whole thing stinks of injustice. And I know our wheels of justice turn slowly, but this has been 3 years. And basically, it's not that complicated. It's right here. We don't have to keep extending this stuff, hoping it goes away. And if you'll notice, Abdul, speaking of going away, Abdul's not posted anything about defamation cases in the last month, ever since he's got it handed to him. He just wants it to go away, and then, but it's not going to go away because it's just going to keep coming back because he's going to lose another case just on the 27th. So, hey, we're here. We're here to stay. And if anything,
well, what about the audits though? Like, where do those go? Like, do those
just go into the process of?
But then, like, what is that next? What is that next step?
Collecting
by who? Like, what Indiana?
Well, it's
government agency.
I'm sorry, audit of what? I didn't hear the question.
The $14K that Mallory owes for the painting of her house, $4,500, and the $7,900 for the investigation. So,
or is that just
liable for the investigation?
No, it's $12K. She's currently being sued by the Attorney General for the $12,000.
Okay, so
it's a civil case, not criminal. And they just couldn't investigate the other several $100,000 that disappeared.
Yeah, it's but it's sort of like cockroaches. You see one and there's 20 more under the rug. So, and I had
the irony is that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's okay.
The irony is that I heard when Rob Kendall was still on WIBC, I heard Abdul on the show one time talking about Diego and this trip to India or whatever. And Abdul said the lie is only compounded when you have to tell more lies or something. I forget the phrase that he used, but
cover-up's worse than the crime.
Yeah, and I was like, the irony of you, of all people, saying that the cover-up is worse than the crime, when you just have liabilities.
That's a term I've not heard. I think Whitmer's probably writing that one down. Liabilities, huh? he's probably had it from birth. But so I guess are we gonna see justice at some point? Are we gonna? I mean,
God no.
You know what? I sure as hell hope so.
Yeah,
like you said, the wheels turn slow. The wheels of justice turn slow, but they do turn. I have seen the Abdul defamation, the civil suit. It's finally coming to fruition. Some other stuff that I'm involved in is coming to fruition. So we'll see here in the next month. It's probably going to be ugly for old Shabazz.
Yeah, and I would say that, I know we each have one vote on here, but I'll tell you what, Kate Sweeney Bell does not need to be in office. She should be out. And I remember her from when I was trying to get my signatures at the election board. She was the one out there cheering the hardest to keep me off that ballot. She was doing the hardest. She was so relieved when I didn't get on the ballot. And it's like, you know what? That is just not cool. And she's our clerk. So I officially want to do the Bob Kern for clerk kickoff campaign. You vote for Bob Kern if you're in the Democrat primary. Now, don't think that you're going to get Bob Kern. So what will happen is he's going to win, just as Jen Pace won, and then I got caucused in to take her place. They will put somebody else in there. You're not going to lose your Democrat spot to the Republican or the Libertarian or whatever. You'll still get your spot, but it'll send a message
for
to
office,
people.
though, right?
What's that?
They can't run for office for 2 years.
What's that?
Isn't there the two primary rule?
Bob Kern isn't going to be running for office.
No. I mean, like if you go vote for him.
Oh, if I vote for him, yeah.
That's what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm thinking about.
You're a Republican in bad standing, then.
Yeah, I'm thinking about. I mean, I'm not going to run for office again, so I'm thinking about doing it. But man, I'm just conflicted. I'm conflicted. But in our case here in Marion County, let's talk about that for a second. I got 2 people on the ballot for the Republican. The lazy ass any GOP can't even fill the ballot on the primary. It's ridiculous. They got a prosecutor and that's it. And they got a clerk that they're not standing by. And I think Wells is maybe running for trustee, but they've never given him any support. So it's like, and who'd want to run with those people?
Natalie Goodwin's been busy though.
Oh yeah, she's been busy.
Busy lobbying.
Yeah.
The adoption of
lightning
Unicov
struck my house when I said that. By the way,
no, you got mouthwash immunity. You got like a little umbrella over your house just because you're on the mouthwash show.
That was crazy.
Yeah, the adoption of Unicov was the downfall of Marion County. So I truly believe there is some kind of behind closed doors agreement between the two parties that the GOP will stay out of the top 6 and the Democrats will stay out of the bottom 3 townships. And then the two parties get to pick who they want to win the primaries or whatever for those individual townships, and then countywide. And then countywide, the Democrats pretty much own everything, and they can just generate new ballots if they need to, if they're not winning. So,
right. Well, and it's just not very many Republicans left in Marion County to even vote. So
I would love to see
sing the gospel of the Republican, pride thought or whatever you guys do. I don't know.
I
would love to
turn
see
people into Republicans. Get out there. I dare you.
I would love to see a third party, private party, do an audit of the previous elections. And just randomly call 100 people and say, hey, who did you vote for on this date? And when their response is, I never voted, yet you go and look at their name and they voted for some Democrat for whatever.
Well, yeah, because like if somebody calls me up and asks me who I vote for, I'm going to be like, well,
who the
none
hell
of your
are
goddamn
you?
business is who.
Yeah, I'm talking in an official capacity, an official audit.
I would officially say that though. Like what?
Just randomly pick 100 people, find out who they voted for, or if they've never voted yet they've been casting a ballot every election. They're like, I've never voted. Well, I don't understand because we've got you voting in every election here.
Yeah, that's and it does make you wonder about all this stuff in this day of the fraud that we see, the corruption. You just wonder how deep it goes. And and I've learned one thing in politics: these folks do not want to give up the reins. They do not want a Jeremiah TV ball coming in and looking at their books. They definitely do not want a Lucy Libertarian coming and looking at their books. And I know one thing: they're probably going to have Steve Whitmer coming and looking at their books because he will find you. You cannot hide from him. And
I got
Brad,
plenty of pens to break.
yeah, even Brad can find out some of this stuff. So
Yeah,
it is.
Oh, I got filing skills.
Yeah, but I just think people are just tired. I really think people are tired. They know it's corrupt. They just say, "Hey, well, I just want to get
They're all
mine
apathetic.
and get out."
The idea of change.
Yeah.
So, but I did like your
and apathy is,
and they count on it. They count on it. They want to discourage and destroy, rinse and repeat. So it's unfortunate that our system is such a this our republic that's a democracy type of thing, whatever you want to argue it. Where the people are supposed to be in charge. We're not in charge of nothing.
But there's a lot of mistrust even in between parties, though. Like I trust certain Republicans over a lot of Democrats. It doesn't really have much to do with party. It's
I don't
character. Like once you get to know people.
Yeah,
I don't recognize the Republican Party. I don't recognize the Republican Party of Indiana anymore. Instead of them listening to, I would call them I'm just going to use the Tea Party, to the people that are on the outside. Instead of reaching out to them, they go after them. And to me,
it's like when you go to Burger King and you look at the picture menu and they have this giant double juicy Whopper cheesy thing with bacon hanging off of it, and it's just mouth watering. So you order it, and whenever the tray comes, it's a White Castle. And you're like, wait a minute.
And then you get shot.
Like that doesn't look anything like the picture. Like whatever. They're like, yeah, that's what it is. Sorry.
And it's not like it's not like for White Castle. It's not an even.
Yeah. That's how it is with politics.
This is
they spend all this money. They tell you all this shit. They pat themselves on the back and make themselves bright and shiny. The new object.
Dude, but we into it. Like who are the people cheering at freaking rallies and protests? Like knock that shit off. Then don't make them God.
Democrats.
Yeah. So we got and I think the thing is that so few people vote because of either gerrymandering or in my case, there's nobody you really even vote for. This fall, there's just no reason to vote this fall. They're just.
I think people don't know what a lot of positions do, and they're.
I think there need to be less people that are allowed to vote.
No,
there should be a minimum requirement. Who's your local politician? If you can't answer that, then see you later.
Oh, geez, when I was knocking on doors running against Justin Moad, I kid you not, 2 weeks in a row, I knocked on doors for 2 weeks, asked these people who their state rep was. Not one person knew that answered the door. Not one.
No,
and
people are just living their lives, man. Just
hey, John, do you want me to give you a bigger black pill for Marion County?
Yeah.
All right, so I just looked at the campaign reports for Philip Faust and Ryan Mears to see where they're at with the pre-primary. So right now, Ryan Mears had $400,000 in contributions. He came into this year with $293,000. So in that reporting period, he raised $113,000. Philip Faust in the same reporting period, $37,000. Here's where it gets really fun, though. Here's where it gets really fun. Cindy Carrasco,
millions
when she ran in 2022. At this point in 2022, she raised over $200,000.
Yeah, and I feel bad for Philip. So they told him he was going to run. If you support Natalie Goodwin, we'll support you to run for this thing. And he was deceived. The Speedway people. Come on, Speedway people. I've done work in your town. I helped fix the freaking Allison building that was falling. The bricks were falling off of. My wife does the Speedway Artist Collective. I mean, we're people of Speedway, and you support her. And she made so many promises about how she was going to build the party. We're going to have all these committees. We're going to have tea and crumpets. And we've had none of it. And not only do we have none of it, we've got a destroyed, worthless GOP in Indiana. And do I sound bitter, Lucy? Do I sound bitter?
I think
Marion County.
You want to know my theory on that, though?
Okay.
John, what happened in 22? We had Carrasco. She lost her prosecutor's office, or lost the prosecutor's race. 2 years later, she becomes senator.
Senator, yeah.
Philip Faust, running for prosecutor, 2 years later, might run against Mike Young in 28.
Crazy. Well,
it's a humiliation ritual right now.
Yeah. Well, what's in common of those two people? So I went out, knocked on doors for Cindy Carrasco, had an event for her at the Art Center.
I was there. Yeah.
Philip Faust went out and knocked on doors for him. He was running for school board or whatever. Went out and knocked on. Guess what? Philip Faust supports Natalie Goodwin for county chair, and Cindy Carrasco gets up there and does the main stump speech for Natalie Goodwin, who did not knock on one door for her, did not do jack anything for her. That's the kind of backstabbers and that there are in this party, and that is why they're going to lose. They're going to be surprised. In Marion County, I don't think if they get over 30% in any of those races, I'm going to be very surprised. I'm thinking
people are too happy with Republicans in general. Like
they're just looking at the other side. And which one do we get? Do we get people that want to kill babies up to the time of birth, or do we want economic
trans for everybody though?
Yeah.
Don't forget about that, Whitty.
We got so many. It's like if it wasn't one side or the other. That's why you got to vote libertarian, right, Lucy?
All that stuff.
Well, now
here's the takeaway. You're paying your tax dollars in Marion County. The roads are terrible. They're doing whatever else they can do with the money, and they're giving the money instead of fixing the roads. It's a meager amount, but they're giving it to the Marion County Fairgrounds, who are filtering it into GOP political campaigns or making repairs to their house with your tax money. So I don't care if you vote, if you are complacent, you don't vote, whatever. You're paying tax dollars that are supposed to be fixing the roads and bettering your school system and whatever else. Which
don't
is
you want your elected officials living in a nice house though, like with new siding
and driving Tahoes? We want them.
Doesn't that make you happy? I mean, that's what America's all about, right?
Yeah, do it legally.
All about the winner.
Do it.
Right. So
yeah.
So
no, that's great. Yes.
So let's go ahead and wind this thing up here. We still got one little thing to do here. We got Lucy's Health Minute, and so let me play the intro on that. And I'll stick around for this. You might learn something. She's making an intinction for me or whatever, a potion for me that's going to help my memory, which I can't wait to start drinking that because it's got vodka in it. It's got to be great. So let's see. Let's play a little intro for Lucy, and here you go.
Hey, so I don't remember what I talked about last week, but that doesn't matter because I'll talk about whatever I want to talk about this week. Thank you.
There we go.
Square. A lot of people know about the heart, and the heart is a pump for the circulatory system, but most people are not aware that you have a second circulatory system in your body called your lymph system. And so your lymph system does not have a pump. So in order to move the fluid around the lymph system, you have to exercise, you have to move. So even if it's just out there walking and swinging your arms, you've got to make sure that you move your body. When the lymph system moves the fluid through, it goes through your lymph nodes, which are, kind of like little trash cans, and they progressively go out from the outside of your body to the inside of your body. So if you have never watched a video on YouTube on lymph drainage or manual lymph massage, definitely do that. If you have a hard time with that, you can jump on the rebounders and that will move your lymph without hurting your joints. You can get a vibration machine and stand on it. They're giant. I've got one of these things. I don't think I have it close, but it's women use gua shas. I think that's how you pronounced, to like get the fluid out in your face. You can get bigger ones to move the fluid in your lymph. So the best thing that I can give you right now,
like the cold
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So definitely get your body moving so you can get the lymph done. A lot of people don't understand that when the lymph is stagnant, then that's just like not changing the trash can in your chicken, in your kitchen. We had chickens
Both
outside. So
sound
it's like,
bad though.
yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
that's good.
Chickens and kitchens. You can tell how tired I am. I'm about ready to turn into a pumpkin and go to sleep. But that is so important. So if you've never heard of your lymph system, if you didn't know about your secondary circulatory system, figure it out now, because you really need to make sure that your lymph is moving. There are herbs that can help you with your lymph, like cleavers and burdock. I mean, really, just nowadays, unless ChatGPT is being funded by the pharmaceutical companies, which I don't think that it is, I think you can still get pretty good information there. But I will tell you that my favorite herbalist in the Indianapolis area is on the South Side, and that's Karen Lindbergh. She's one of my Facebook friends, so you can find her through me, and I think it's the Apothecary in Greenwood. Fantastic training. She's trained with the best. So if you have any like weird stuff going on, she can probably help you feel better.
My whole life is weird stuff going on, so I have to stop in to see that
Hey.
one. As soon as I get my elixir, then I'll get my lymph nodes worked on.
Yeah,
I was laughing imagining like going outside and like moving my arms about. Like that's why I started
Literally.
laughing when you said it. Like,
You do that, Brad. Your neighbors will
the
just
arms. Yeah, like I'll be that weird neighbor who does like little arm circles.
you can tell you're doing that.
You know,
Me too,
whatever you've
IT.
got to do. I think a lot of breast cancer from women is, well, you know, two things mainly. People use aluminum deodorant and they don't understand that what aluminum does, it's aluminum salts, is it literally irritates and makes your pores swell. So the sweat, what your body's trying to get out, can't get out. And that backs up into your lymph. And so I suspect that if people would just do some simple lymph drainage, manual lymph drainage and massage, which, you know, you can accomplish in just a couple of minutes a day, maybe do some dry brushing, then get that lymph moving. It's probably pretty difficult to be sick if your trash cans are all emptied in your body.
Yeah, well, hey, don't
I
let
like
your
that.
lymph limp. That's what I'm
Lucy,
saying.
I got
Right.
a question.
Yes, Brad.
Wrong guy. Bro.
Wrong Brad. The other
So
Brad.
I have a water catch, and what should I do about the algae?
About the algae? That's a great question. I've never actually done one of those. So I would go on YouTube and I would find somebody that's an expert at that. What I do remember is that you've got to paint, like if you've got an outside, you know, one of those IBC totes or something, what is that? An intermediate beverage container that has really popular with the metal cage. The people that I've seen that have successfully not had algae have painted it black because apparently if the light gets in, that gives the algae photosynthesis.
Oh,
So that's about all I know.
Yeah, a couple caps full of chlorine bleach will fix that right up for you, Brad.
I bet that it would.
Germicidal bleach is what you want.
Okay, germicidal bleach.
That's what you. If you have a well water pump, you pour a gallon once a year. You pour a gallon of germicidal bleach in your well water pump to keep the algae down.
Yep, chlorine shock. Yep.
There you go. All right, well, Lucy, you're off the hook now, and
you need to connect Lucy. You need to connect Lucy with Kelly Calloway, and those things that Kelly Calloway has. Yeah, the lymph nodes and all that.
Yeah, it's super duper important. It really is. People just don't know.
She's like re-sanded her entire kitchen floor, so she's not she's not meek as she looks. Let's put it that way. So
yeah, she's a nice gal.
So okay, well, hey folks, I think this has been very informative. I think our message for the day is go vote these bums out. That's what I'm thinking, and hopefully we'll have an update with you, Jeremiah. We don't come on the show every 2 years, but it's unfortunate that it's been 2 years and nothing. I mean, other than the process has moved along, there's been no results, no resolve. So, but we're rooting for you, and we want you to do the best you can. And thanks for coming on the show and explaining some of this stuff, because a lot of people don't even know what's going on. They just ignore it and hope it goes away. And I think it's our job to keep some of this stuff in the forefront and to warn other people that what's going on is not in your best interest. So, but make up your own mind and you see what's up. No conspiracy theory tonight. So, Jeremiah, I'll give you the last word, and then we're out.
Well, I'm looking for the Stop Jeremiah Act, like they're trying to do with Nick Shirley in California. So keep me from releasing all of this information and exposing them and all that stuff. There's going to be the Marion County Ordinance, the Stop Jeremiah Act.
Yeah, well, Whitty's probably going to beat you to that, but hey, it might be they might put you both in the same bill. It's the Whitty Haas or the Haas Whitty, whatever that is. And don't rule Lucy out. She could get in there for sure. All right, folks. Well, hey, next week I think we're going to have Ashley Grog on, and she's going to come and talk about liberty, freedom, and the candidates that are in favor of our health freedom. She's always a good guest. She's been out there fighting a good fight. We're going to talk about candidates because this is going to be, let's see, our show. 2 weeks from now is primary night, so we'll be talking about the good, bad, and the ugly of who won on May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. Hey, Whitmer, maybe you can come back. We can see how much tequila we can drink. Brad, I know you'd be. Yeah, let's do it. And for Cinco de Mayo, and I'll get some real Mexicans on here, and we'll have a good old fiesta and have some fun. So everybody have a good week. Catch our shows the rest of the week. We got Brad's The Rinse coming up here. You had
I got Dave Shelton on Sunday.
Coming this Sunday, yeah.
And Drew's going to be on with me too. So
look at our little Chateau de Mars Hill network go here. Who would imagine it only took 5 years to get 3 shows, but by gosh, they're quality. So anyway, have a great week, folks. Jeremiah, thanks. Lucy, thanks for staying on. I know you got a lot to do. And Brad, as usual. And Steve, thanks for sitting in for Tiffany. And hey, good luck to everybody. And go out and do a little research and get involved. See you next week. Same channel. Over and out.